Guys, and welcome back to my channel. Every time I say that, it's just excitement. The first time I said it, I've been waiting 7 years, 7 years to do this channel. So every single time I say hi guys and welcome to my channel, I literally feel just excited and as cheesy as the first time I say it. Some of you might have noticed, some of you mightn't have noticed that I posted a video about 2 days ago and I deleted it. Here are the two reasons as to why I deleted it. Number one, I found that there was a part in it that I said something that could have been very triggering to somebody. I asked friends and family their opinion and they said it was fine, but just within myself, if I had read it, it could be quite triggering to me, or I could think that I was making light of something, and I definitely wasn't, and I just don't want to trigger anyone, so I took it down. It's all trial and error. It's my first video, guys, so you got to be easy on me. And the second reason, which was a really big reason as why I took it down, is I realized that all of this vulnerability that I brought to the first video, I held back in the second video. I went back into my old routine of being like, oh, I don't want to talk too much about that with me, or oh, I want to hide this part. And that is so inauthentic, and I don't want my videos to be like that. I want my videos to be me helping people through facts and also helping people through saying to you, I have been there, I feel it, I like literally, if you feel crazy or you feel alone, like you're not, because there's another person here who feels like that. And I feel like in my last video I wasn't like that. I didn't allow myself to be as vulnerable as I should have been and as I want to be on these videos. So that was another reason for redoing it. And yeah, so today I'm going to talk about basically kind of like the same thing, only like I think my videos are going to be uncut and they're going to be more like chat with me videos. Like I have some statistics here today and I've decided to talk about just depression on its own. I've already divulged my disorders to you guys. I've divulged to you that I have PTSD, that I have depression, that I have anxiety, a little bit of OCD. Did I say post traumatic stress disorder? But there's one disorder that I have kept secret from you guys, and the reason is it's a bit of a social experiment. And I meant to say that in my first video and I forgot. I'll get into this video very soon, but just let me explain this. So I have a social experiment that I want to do. I suffer with a disorder. It's a disorder that I developed through trauma, but it is a disorder that is very, 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 very stigmatized. And we live in an age in a society where we think that, oh, we're so mental health and we don't judge, we don't prejudge. But I feel if I came into my first video and I said, hi, I'm Simone Mary Valentine and I suffer with blah, 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 blah. If you heard that disorder, you would have clicked out, or you would have listened and been like looking for the things, or just, and I want to show that disorders are just a bunch of coping mechanisms. Sometimes they can be chemical, but they're a lot of the time a lot of coping mechanisms shoved together under a label so a doctor can understand them. And I just think it's funny that people prejudge that. I think it's crazy, it's insane to me. So I want to, 2 or 3 videos down the line, I'm going to divulge the trauma disorder or the disorder that I have that I haven't mentioned yet. And I want you to think to yourself, if I heard that in the first video and she said, would I have listened to her in the way that I'm listening to her now? There's so many people that I know that are around the place living with this disorder that it's so stigmatized. If I can do that one little thing and get people's brains ticking, I'd be really, really happy. So today I decided to just do a little chat with me video. Like I have some statistics written down just to kind of go off, because I do want to go off the diagnosis criteria for depression. For people who are out there who might be questioning whether they have it or not. But I'm going to go into my own personal stuff, my own personal experience with it too. Because vulnerability, I need to, and I just know, like when I was in a really bad place, and still to this day when I'm having bad days, YouTube I go to, the content creators that talk about this kind of stuff, and it makes you feel less alone. And that's what I want to do. So yeah. So basically, I got my I got all this information from the DSM. If you don't know what the DSM is, it's the diagnostic book that they use to diagnose any kind of mental illness, any kind of depression. It's done. It's the book that basically counselors, psychiatrists, everything they all use to diagnose certain things like depression, anxiety, whatever. Your doctor can diagnose depression, but they can also. But the DSM is where they would refer to see if you have the symptoms that are on the list. So the DSM describes depression like this. Depression is a common and serious mood disorder. See, even that there, people think like depression is like, oh, depression. That's one thing I want to say as well. I told you it'd be a chat with me video. I'm going to keep getting distracted. Depression is not the same thing as being sad. I said it in the last video. When you go through a breakup, you are sad. It might put you into a depression for a while. I'm not saying that. But when you go through a breakup and you feel a little bit sad for a while, you are sad, you're not depressed. When something goes wrong at work and a coworker says something to you that hurts your feelings, you're sad, you're not depressed. You know, when you apply for something and you don't get it and you have another opportunity to get something else, you're sad, you're not depressed, you know? So, and depression as well, people think depression is so light, like because there's other disorders and this and that, and depression is just depression, get over it. This is how the DSM describes depression. Depression is a common and serious mood disorder. Those who suffer with it experience persistent feelings of emptiness, sadness, and hopelessness. People who suffer lose the interest in activities, even ones previously enjoyed. Aside from the emotional turmoil, depression may sometimes also present itself with physical symptoms such as chronic pain or digestive issues. So the next thing I'm going to go on to is the criteria that you need to meet. So I'm going to talk about some of the ones, and I kind of meet all of them, I think. So I'll talk about how they affect me, but that this is all from my perspective, and depression works differently for everyone else, but I'll go into mine. So the next thing I'm going to go into is the criteria that you need to meet to have this disorder, to have depression. And the DSM says that you have to have at least 5 off this list of 1, okay? So here's where I get vulnerable and blah. But anyway, okay. Depressed mood most of the day, every day. Okay. So what they're saying there is not like every second week or once every second month you have one day where you feel down. They're saying for you to be diagnosed with depression, you have to have a persistent low baseline level of mood over most of the day, every day. Now, for me, how I describe myself to all my friends, they know this is ER. I'm like the friend that they all just love and like tag along anyway, even though I am depressed as fuck. Oh, that tea is hot. Um, but I've said it to doctors, I've said it to psychiatrists, I have said it to, or psychotherapists, yeah, psychiatrists, I've said it to counselors. My baseline level for just like my normal baseline level, everyone has the normal baseline level that you're at, and the average person with no trauma, no depression, or anything like that is here, you know. And you might have something that happens throughout the day and it fluctuates and it goes off that way, or you know, someone says something bad to you and it goes off that way for a minute and then it comes back. My baseline would be down here because of the disorders I have, the things I've been through. My brain doesn't produce, and because of depression, my brain doesn't produce serotonin the way it's supposed to. So my baseline level is down here, which means the majority of the time I feel sad. But I'm okay, like I'm working on it, and I will give tips at the end. Like I don't have many tips because I'm still working on myself, but I do have some tips. I am working on myself, but my main baseline level is sad. Even when I'm having a good time with my friends, there's still like this lingering sadness behind it, and that's depression. You can be sitting there, and that's why they say it's so dangerous as well. Like to look at someone and go, "Oh, they're always laughing, they're fine." I can sit with my friends, I can have fun, I can go out, I can laugh with them and I can enjoy the moment, but behind the it's like there's two feelings. Behind the feeling of happiness is the feeling of depression and sadness, and like you're drowning, and like you're never going to feel as normal as everyone else in the room because everyone else doesn't seem to have this feeling behind it, you know? So basically what they're saying is you need to have, for number one, the number one criteria is you need to have a depressed mood most of the day, almost every day. Okay, the next one they're saying is markedly diminished interest or pleasure in all or almost all activities most of the day, every day. Um, so yeah, so basically, what this means is if you're in a depressive episode, you will find it very hard to do things that you love. For me, like I have a ukulele. Like I said, my baseline is mostly low, and I'm working on it and trying to get happy. So I deal with these things a lot. I have to push myself, even to do this YouTube video. I have to be like, "Come on, bitch, you can do it. Like you was a badass female. Like you got this. You got this." You know, I gotta amp myself up. But like, for example, like with this one where they're saying like you totally lose interest in things that you love. I have a ukulele there. I've had it for the past few years. I have two now. I bought a black one thinking I'd buy myself a new one. I would play it. I had a yellow one that a friend gave to me, and will I pick it up and learn it? No. When I'm feeling like this, well, I don't feel too bad today, but most days, I will look at it and I will want to learn it. I know one song. I know Sticky Fingers Cyclone, and that is it. And it's because of this lack, and it's not laziness. It's like you sit there and you feel like it's like I said before, it's like you feel everything at once. I'm getting kind of emotional, but it's like you feel everything at once, yet you feel nothing. And TV doesn't do it for you. Books, like, it's so hard to find something that will perk up that mood. So if you notice yourself knowing that you love to play football yet you're not doing it because you just have this mood that just drags you down, or you love music, you love to make music, you're a DJ, you love to make tracks and you're not doing it as often, you want to be a singer, you want to paint, you want to do anything like that, yet you have this feeling inside you that makes you feel like you couldn't, or you don't have the energy or things like that. Like, life is made to be enjoyed. We're supposed to want to get up and do these things and experience playing music and experience going on holidays and experience looking at the sun and experiencing painting and dancing and kissing and just all the fun stuff in the world. We're meant to want to do that. So if you don't want to do that, there's a very big chance that you meet that criteria. The next one is significant weight loss or weight gain. So first of all, I'll just talk about my own personal experience, and I know I talked about it in the last one, so I don't have to go into too in depth. But for me, like what they're saying there anyway is you can go one or two ways. You can go binge eating. A lot of people, it's for comfort, you know. People binge eat for comfort. The same way people use alcohol for comfort or other things for a crutch. A lot of people use food as a crutch so you can gain an awful lot of weight. For me, I fluctuate. I go up and down my weight like all the time. I'm never really heavy. I have been, but I'm usually kind of fluctuating between a normal healthy weight and a bit on the skinny side. And what happens there is like it's not that I have anorexia. I don't. I'm sorry for anyone that does. It's not that I have that. I don't look at my body and think, oh, it's bigger than what it is. What it is, and I think I said this in my last video, is when I get really, really anxious, I don't want to eat. I just don't want to eat, and it's like cardboard to me. And see, I'm having a good day today. Even though drinks are always fine. Anyone who has like who gets what I'm saying right now knows drinks are always fine. Um, but like not to make light of it, like it's not good, and I want to work on it. And it's something that I am working on. I'm doing big week shops. I'm making myself eat. I am pushing myself into eating, but it's just the anxiety. Imagine like going down a roller coaster, like because like that's what the depression and anxiety feels like for me. It's like like you feel nauseous sometimes from it. Imagine being nervous. Just no, generally not. Imagine being nervous about something, like nervous to go to an exam or just something like that, and then someone comes along and they're like, "Eat this." You know, it's just really, really hard. But I'm working with it, and I advise anyone else out there who is struggling with this kind of stuff to work with it. Even if you get a bowl of porridge into yourself a day, a bowl of porridge and a sandwich in the evening, just something. And even if you're not enjoying it, just think like I said, my last one, Bear Grylls shit. Just force it into you because you can. And at least you know you're looking after your body, and that in turn will probably make you feel better about yourself because you've done something. You've done something productive to help with your depression. Um, what's the next one? Fatigue or loss of energy nearly every day. This one, so what they're basically saying is that no matter how much sleep you get, no matter how much sleep you get, so you go to bed at 11, you get up at 10 in the morning, and you're still tired and you're still dragging yourself around, or you get your good 8 hours, as they say, your good 8 hours, um, you still feel fatigued throughout the day, you still feel tired, no much sleep is enough, you want to nap, you don't want to take part in anything. That's one that I don't struggle with. I definitely meet all the criteria for fucking major depressive disorder. It's basically the same as depression, major depressive disorder. I think there's like one thing that's different, but I've major depressive, but we're just talking about depression today. But that's one that I don't meet, but I don't know, do I meet it or not? Because I mean, I feel down all the time, and I have to, like, as I said, boss ass bitch, perk it up, come on, you got this, you can do this. But I don't know if I'm tired or just sad, you know? So, like, honestly, without jokes, I have to joke. I have a dark sense of humor, and that will come out sometimes. It's how I cope with my life. Um, but yeah, I don't know if that's one that I've noticed within myself. I do know that I find it very, very hard to get out of bed in the morning. Like, I have responsibilities, and that's another thing with depression is trying to get. It's not on the list, but I'm just gonna say it. Trying to get out of bed in the morning is really, really hard. I struggle with it a lot. I have responsibilities a few days a week, so those days I have no choice. I have to get up. But on the days I don't have responsibilities, I could sleep in till like two, three, like whatever, and I have to fight myself on it and set alarms and drag myself out of bed because for me, unfortunately, because my baseline is down here and because I suffer with depression, my first thought in the morning before I've perked myself up, badass bitch, is I can't do this. I don't want to get out of bed. I can't do this anymore. And then I pull myself out of it. And please, if you're listening to this, pull yourself out of it. Just be like, no, today is one day. Today is one day. Like, there will be another day, and I will get up and I will make the most of today. And okay, so feelings of worthlessness or excessive or inappropriate guilt nearly every day. So feelings of worthlessness or excessive or inappropriate guilt. So right, I don't know if I can talk too much. Well, I can talk on this one. I have it, but I also have it from another disorder, the mystery disorder that I'm not going to tell you about yet. But I also have it from another trauma disorder. So I don't know if my feelings of guilt and shame and all that are from something else. It could be from a different disorder, but basically what they're saying in the criteria for the DSM is that you have this feeling of otherness. I've looked into all of this. You have this feeling of otherness, like you're different than everyone else, like you're just ashamed of who you are, and you feel guilty, and you don't know why. It's just like this pit in the middle of your stomach that just feels guilty and dark and sad and shameful, almost like you're ashamed of yourself and like you're different than everyone else, and like no one else will get you. I know it doesn't say all that there, but I know. And that's what it means. It means you walk around this feeling of guilt even if you have nothing to feel guilty about. It's the sensation of guilt and the sensation of worthlessness and the sensation of, what was the other one? Worthlessness. Yeah, just worthlessness. So the last one is, oh no, we have another one, diminished ability to think or concentrate, or indecisiveness almost every day. So diminished ability to think or concentrate, or indecisiveness nearly every day. So I first noticed this when I was like, I suffer from dissociation as well, which again could be another part, but it ties into depression too. So I'm going to talk about it from my side, because it does tie into depression as well. I remember the first time that happened to me, as you know from my last video, I was a bit of a wild child and I used to go to school or do what I was supposed to. And I remember cranking down hard like 3 weeks before the leaving cert, being like, I need to learn, I need to get all this information into my brain, oh my god, oh my god. And so I remember looking at my geography book and reading a paragraph, and then reading the paragraph again, and then reading the paragraph again, reading the paragraph again, and it would not go in. And it was because obviously that day I must have been in a really, really depressive state. And I've noticed it with things like the ukulele. Like some days I can pick it up when my bass line is a little bit higher, and I can play and I can learn a little bit, but there's some days where like my concentration is just out of whack, totally, totally, and it makes it hard for people like with work, with staying on top of appointments, with learning, with studying. Like imagine the amount of people that are in college that suffer with depression and have to I didn't even think of that at all. Like the amount of people in college who suffer with depression and are going through such depressing times and have to try and concentrate and try. Kudos, just kudos. Hat off to you. The last one, which is the most important one, and the whole reason that I do these videos, is reoccurring thoughts of debt or reoccurring suicide ideation. Okay, so um, we all know that the suicide rate in Ireland is really, really high. We also know that it's really high around the world, and it is so, 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 so important to talk about it. I myself, I have self harmed, but on the scale of suicide attempts, I have had two that people know about, and I have had two that nobody knows about. Well, probably close friends at this point, but you know what I mean. Like, didn't know about at the time, and I thank God every day that none of them suicide attempts worked. I remember after my last suicide attempt, I woke up in the bed and I've never felt so grateful in my life. So please take it from me, right? If you can live through this experience, I woke up in the bed and my first thought was, thank God, what was I doing? Because sometimes we might think that we want to end the pain, but the pain is temporary. Like the pain, it always goes away. Like I've been through so much shit and it doesn't last. Like it goes. Life, healing and life isn't linear. It's up and it's down and it's all over the place. But the main one I wanted to talk about as well is suicide ideation, because actually I'm going to go back and just say, just please listen to me on that point. Like good days do come around, and I have been the girl who thought that I couldn't take it anymore, and I was willing to leave people behind me who would have been really, really hurt, and I did it, and I'm here now, and I'm still living with depression and PTSD and fucking trauma and just everything, and it's painful and it's hard, but I'm starting to see the beauty in life. So please just take, if you're feeling suicidal, take it from me that it does get, I'm not gonna say it gets better, it gets easier and life gets more colourful if you really start to work on it. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about is suicide ideation. A lot of people don't know what this is. Suicide ideation basically means, so I think I said it in my first video, but I'm going to say it again. Suicide ideation is going around, like, it's basically having the ideas constantly, like, let's just fluff up this mane of hair. It's having the ideas of wanting to end your life without having the plan to do it. And these ideas can pop up in seamless conversation, like seamless times. You could be making a cup of tea and a thought could come into your head because you just feel so low of, I can't do this, I can't be here anymore. Or like I said, waking up in the morning and thinking, I can't do this, like I can't face another day. Or just being around friends and feeling nothing and thinking like I can't do this, but you don't have the plan to actually do it. And I remember ringing Pieta House, it's a counselling service here in Ireland, and I remember ringing them and saying to them like, she asked me, she said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how suicidal would you say you'd be? And I said, well, I have responsibilities, so I would say probably a 2. I have no plan to do it. And she said, no, that's not what I'm asking. On a scale of 1 to 10, how suicidal do you feel? And I said a 12. I remember saying an 8 first, and then I was like 12. And she was like, you don't deserve, that is still being suicidal. You don't deserve to walk around feeling like that. Even if you're thinking, okay, I wish I wasn't here, but I wouldn't do it to my family. You don't deserve to feel like that. Your life shouldn't feel like that. You shouldn't spend your life walking around feeling like that at all, and you don't deserve it. You deserve to feel happy and excited. And I'm starting to learn that I deserve that too, because I still struggle with suicidal ideation. I would never ever do it. I would never do it because, as I said, I have responsibilities. I have regrets for the past times that I've done it, and I'm working on myself and I'm getting happier. So yeah, that was basically just the criteria for depression. If you want to go through them or if you want to do it in your own time, just to see. I mean, if a lot of this resonated with you, chances are that you need to go and you need to talk to a doctor. So some of my tips, I don't have many tips. One of my tips would be talk to a doctor. I was very reluctant for a long time. I have dealt with shitty doctors who are just so old fashioned and old stock, and they're like, here's a pill, take this pill. I don't know what it's for, but take it. It's an antidepressant, you know? But I started going seeing a really good doctor recently, and I actually have an appointment, funnily enough, tomorrow with the HSE. So the HSE is basically like, if you go to your doctor, you can have your doctor refer you to the HSE. You could be waiting like 10 years unless you get your doctor to send in like, oh, this person is in like crisis, even if it's like a little bit of a white lie because you don't deserve to live in pain. Um, get your doctor to send in that letter, and basically it takes you from counseling to real therapy. They do, psychotherapy, all that kind of stuff. If you can't avail of that, go to your doctor. They'll get you into a free counseling service. I've been to Pieta House. I've talked to the Samaritans. As I said, tomorrow I'm going to the HSE to be fully evaluated, have a psych evaluate. It sounds like I'm actually fucking crazy. A psych evaluation, to see, do I still have the same disorders, because I was diagnosed at 22. I'm 28 now, and I feel a lot more like, I still know that I suffer depression, anxiety. I still know that I suffer with PTSD. I still know that I suffer with the mystery illness I'm not telling you about. But I think that there's like little parts of each one of them that I've grown out of, if that makes sense. So anyway, my rambling. My advice would be talk to a doctor. The other thing I would say is like, have a group of friends. So like I said in one of my videos, I think me and my friend Chloe, like, and I know a lot of us don't have friends, and I'll go on to that, but like my friend Chloe, me and her send each other a head emoji. And that's just like, if we just need to rant or we need to like whatever, just get some shit off our chest or we're having a bad day, we know that's the one, right? Drop everything, ring. Me and my friend Dylan in France, we have SOS. So anytime, like, cause you could ring up, like he might ring me, I might be making dinner and I won't answer. But then if I see the word SOS, I ring straight away and I talk, and we talk it through. If you don't have that, there is so many things. There are youth groups for younger ones. There are classes you can take. I know it's hard when you have depression, but if you can push yourself to do it. My main tip would be talk to your doctor though, because you would be surprised. You can get the right one, and they really, really, really help. And therapy, 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 therapy. This hospital that I'm going to, or this place I'm going to tomorrow, I don't even know if you call it a hospital. I was there twice, and twice I fucked up my opportunity of going there because I was too young, and I was like, I don't want to deal with talking about my trauma and blah 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 blah. And then this time they sent me a letter and they were like, you need to prove that you want to come here. There's thousands of people around Ireland waiting to be on this list. Like, do we need to know that you're serious? So I'm serious. I'm going into this. I will share my tips. I will share my therapy tips that I get. I will share all of that good stuff with you guys. I hope some of this has resonance for you. There was one more point. Oh, medication. Don't, I am such a spiritual person, right? Don't let someone who's spiritual tell you don't take medication. If you need to take medication at a certain time, I already said this in my last video, so you can go back and see it if you need to, but I came off my medication basically thinking like I don't need it anymore, and I was suicidal. It was like blah, 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 blah. Like when you've been through so much in life or you're dealing with disorders, sometimes it's very chemical and it's beyond your control. It might not even be in your mind. It might be your fight or flight system, which it is for me, or your you know what I mean, your alert system, your anxiety, you have all these triggers going off. And the medication sometimes, like I'm on an SSRI as well, which kind of brings up the serotonin in my brain. And all it does is brings up the serotonin in my brain to a natural level that everyone else's is at. So don't let anyone pressure you or say anything to you about medication, and just take it for the time that you feel like you need it, you know? The other thing that I would say is meditation. Like, I found my spirituality. I know I said last video, so I'll say it really quick. I found meditation, and I know it's not for everyone, especially like I have really bad anxiety. So even now to this day, like when I go to do meditation, it takes quite a while for my brain to shut up. And I know that that's the resistance with a lot of people. And it takes a while for your brain to shut up. You go off, you keep daydreaming, but it helps me to be present. It helps me when that inner critic, and we all know what the inner critic is, that little voice in your head that tells you you're shit, that you're worthless, that you're this, that you're that. If you have depression or anything, anyway, you know what I mean. Then you know what I mean. But it helps me shut that up. It helps me be more mindful in the sense of like, if I'm doing something, a feeling comes up of, oh, you're so shit, because that's just the way it works. I'll be able to catch it and go, that's my inner critic. I am not. I am fine, you know? Not all the time, but most of the time. So, yeah, I hope this video made a little bit of sense. Was there anything else that I wanted to say, or was that it? No, oh yeah, just another thing, I didn't write that down, but just another thing like that I want to say, and I know I kind of said it a minute ago, but I want to say it in a different way, is when you're feeling depressed, or I've started to do this recently, when you're feeling depressed, think about all of the times that you like cried on the bedroom floor, you cried in the shower, or you thought that you wouldn't get through it, and then you had a really good day, like you went away with friends somewhere, or you had a great Christmas, or you just laughed, you tummy laughed with a friend, or someone told you that you know, you do you make them happy, you know, and then it comes around, you have a depressive day again, and then something fantastic happens, you have a great day with a friend, and it just comes around, it comes around. And that's what I've been thinking a lot lately. If I'm having one of those days, which is baseline most days, I'm like, it's fine, I'm just going to get up, I'm going to make the most of this day. I know this day can be good, and if this day isn't good, another good day will come back around, and it's never worth ending it. So yeah, I hope this video made sense. I know I rambled a bit. I'm going to call all of these videos like chat with me videos, because that's what it's going to be. Um, but yeah, peace for another week, and I hope you liked this video, and I hope you didn't mind me remaking it. And yeah, stay safe, and peace.